Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, this is Jeebs here with your twice baked session. The new way that I listen to music. Listen to it first, bring a little something to it, and then bring it to you guys. So stoner sludge. And I've only probably done about a dozen tracks of, sludge metal, stoner sludge style music. And so I definitely am not a really big, I don't have an enriched listening experience for the genre. But when I just got through listening to this track, I was like, ooh, this kind of heavy transcends kind of some darkness, with the unique sounds that sludge usually does bring, stoner sludge with their guitars and their drums. And they still, as far as my listening experience, really, stayed to the core sounds of what sludge is. But I think you guys are going to dig this one. This one's kind of heavy and it's got a very macabre kind of vibe. And even when the guitars come in with the unique sounds and stuff, it's got that thing. I don't know what that thing is. Maybe you guys will help me define that thing. But this is the band Spotlights, and the name of the track is Sunset Burial. So let's do this. This is my twice burnt. Ooh, twice. Let the truth be told. Twice baked session. All right. Like the little flange on that bass, or phase shift on that bass. Love that pattern. Okay, got to stop it really quick, like I do. All right, so you heard me kind of talk briefly over it about that nice little flange on the bass that opens up. And it's really, the bass sound is nice and clean, but there's a little hint of like, that kind of vibe that's going to give you this kind of spooky crawl that bass is holding down. Now, two things that happen that I love about this track is on this side, they're just sustaining. I don't know what they're using for it, so I'm just going to say it's a keyboard, but I don't know. But they're sustaining a pad here on the left. So that would be that zip line tone through the track. And then remember I was saying, man, I love that pattern. Then they open up with a pattern that actually stays all the way through before the vocals while the bass is making the changes. Very unique kind of darkness that happens with that vibe and the kind of the notes that he chooses for that picking pattern. Already sets you up for the spook. Vocals, very laid back and very spooky on this, but I think it's because how they kick into the dirt, everything boosted. The bass sound completely changed, got dark. I can't say that this is like typical sludge guitar sound, but it just kind of vibes with me that some of the sludge that I've heard in the past has that kind of sound, that kind of sludgy track. One last thing I want to say is I love the engineering on the drums. The toms sound just so fresh and organic, not over anything. It just sounds great. Sounds like a triangle. Dark Sludge. Okay, gotta stop this, man. Twice now. That's the second time I've heard something completely unique. One, we just heard a jawbone. You know, that we just heard? And then right before you heard me go, I'm going, oh, what is that? And they got a triangle in there. So definitely going a little outside of what little I know about, you know, sludge and stuff like that to bring a different kind of sound into production by using a triangle and a jawbone. And then, of course, I don't know anything of the band. Maybe that's actually part of their arsenal. But that kind of unique little sound to it does add, for me, that sense of like they went a little beyond and above for the dynamics of the track. Now, this little turnaround that they're doing here, I'm telling you, at this point, this is where this track really, at this point, if the vocals, and I'm not saying they should have, but why I say this is a harder, darker, heavier sludge, is because it kind of, to me, embodies a little bit of the production that if they put a different vocal performance, you would hit 2 or 3 other, you know, more metal genres. And once again, I'm not saying they should have or could have, I'm just saying the music production supports that. You know, so this is darker, heavier, grindier, more, I want to say, less tooled with, not like the band, but sounds. Just darker, heavier sounds with not a lot of processing and stuff, and I fully dig that. Whoops. Love that right there with Something else that they did that I fully got lit into is their subtle use of synths to add that dynamic kind of ethereal ambient kind of vibe. And what I mean is like, for instance, just at that last section, a matter of fact, during all of the hooks, there was a very high, a very light pad that came in, and they kind of snuck it in pre-chorus. So it's a note that kind of, they brought it in, maybe it sounded like 2 bars before the hook, and it just, and then they kind of let it fade out. So what I love about what I'm hearing here is that this band is, like I said, those production little outside of the box by having the jawbone and the triangle. Because I'm not overly familiar with the sludge genre as a whole, I don't know that there is a lot of synth or keyboard use necessarily in it. You guys will tell me, and of course I'll continue down my journey with more sludge rock or stoner sludge or whatever. But to me, it encompassed everything that I'm listening to and like vibing about right now in 2023. Bands that are using little unique, flavors with not necessarily always synths. You can get these same ambient effects with guitars and stuff as well, with pedals and stuff outbound stuff and then in post-production. But this track I'm going to listen to a few more times today while I do some yard work. I'm going to pop it up on my Spotify and stuff. I can't thank you, Chris from Patreon. Thank you so much for your suggestion on this track. So you guys tell me how you feel about this track. You guys have a killer weekend. Got a bunch of fun stuff coming for you. Starting on Monday, and don't forget, if you want to support me, you got a cup of coffee, we got the headsets, all the links are down there. You want to hang out on Patreon or watch me blow up things on Twitch, all the links are down below. You guys take it easy. See ya!